You wake up in the morning, you're failing. So you blame the president, you blame Congress, you blame Greece. And you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror and you're not failing because it's the other guy's fault. But if you looked in the mirror and said, I'm failing because of me, you wouldn't like it. And I believe the common denominator of failure in any business is excuses.
Take full responsibility for what happens to you. It's the day you know you've passed from childhood to adulthood. The day you accept full responsibility.
In the worst economic environment, there were people making a lot of money, weren't there? Somebody's making money, so the excuse is bull. So wake up in the morning and own your failure. And you won't like it. And then you'll change it. So in short, if you own your failure, you'll own your success. And I find that in any business. Always the common denominator of failure is excuses. You don't want to be a failure, do you? If you can't blame anybody but yourself, you're going to change. You're going to fight it out. That's the deal.
Learn to reap in the fall without apology if you do well, and without complaint if you don't. I used to have this funny list called Reasons for Not Looking Good. I used to blame taxes. Look what you got left after they take everything. Prices, that one's easy, right? You walk into the supermarket with $20, come out with a little half bag. I blame my negative relatives. They were always putting me down. That's a pretty good list for not doing well, isn't it? I thought it was good. Mr. Schoaf is very kind, but he was also very blunt. One day, with sort of a curious look on his face, he said, Jim, how come you haven't done well up until now? This list I just gave you, I put that on him. When I finished, he said, Mr. Rohn, big problem with your list. You ain't on it.
The year was 1980, was just coming up over the hill when I came up over the crest, and there was a terrible car wreck. Pulled over to the side of the road and ran over to a victim who was slumped over in the seat. The man was bleeding, his head was against the steering wheel. I said, do you want me to call the police? And he turned his head. He said, no, call an ambulance. I knew when I asked him, do you want me to call the police? I knew I'd said something foolish. I did not realize that to a person who is bleeding on the side of the road, it doesn't matter who was at fault. Why call the police? He wasn't concerned about who would get a ticket or who was responsible for the accident. But when the injury is severe enough, no one cares really about who is to blame. They want somebody who is solution-oriented, and I didn't understand, but I can still see him looking at me saying, no, call an ambulance. If you ended up where you ended up because of somebody else, then you can't fix where you are. They have to fix it. Isn't that a lot of power to give to somebody else?
Let me introduce you to the concept of success. If you do tomorrow what you did today, you will get tomorrow what you got today. The average American makes between 3 and 5% more each year. So it takes you 20 years to double your income. That's the mediocrity that we're stuck in life. And then you meet people who have the uncanny ability to double their income in a year. The ones that beat the system, the ones that conquer it. The difference between them and the ones that don't do that is that they wake up in the morning and they think differently.
Two men wake up one morning, there's a rainstorm on. One of them looks out his window, sees the rainstorm, and he says, wow, what a storm. With weather like this, they can't expect you to go out and make sales. He stays home. The other guy looks out his window, sees the same storm, says, wow, what a storm. What a great day to go out and make sales. Most everybody will probably be home, especially the salesman.
You want a bigger car? How about a nice house in Tahiti? We all want better things, don't we? If you do the same thing tomorrow that you did today, you're stuck. And it doesn't change.
Starting tomorrow, what are you going to do? that'll make a change in your life's direction. Now see, if you don't do something starting tomorrow that'll make a difference, guess what? It's gonna be the same.
So the first thing I want you to think about today is I want you to wake up tomorrow and do something different. Just because you did it a certain way yesterday, there's no reason to do it that way today.
What can you do starting tomorrow that'll make a difference? Good question.
That's not what drives success. You do. You do. When you go back tomorrow, you'll either start counting guests or you won't. You'll either look at your staff and get rid of the dead weight that you know is costing you money, or you won't. And every one of you wrote the word action down at least a few times, correct? Do it!
So if you're going to be on this planet for 70 years and things happen slower than they should, you're going to have less, aren't you? So let's all hurry up, man, and get more out of life.
People who win, they are in a much bigger hurry than the people who are average. They're in a bigger hurry to get to their destination. Their pace is faster. They walk faster. They talk faster. This may seem like a very small, subtle thing, but I want you to evaluate how big of a hurry are you in? If you and I started out right now and we had a 26-mile marathon to run, and we were going to race each other, we would pace ourselves at a certain speed in order to maintain that speed because of the duration of the run. And so because the destination is so far away, our pace is limited based on how far away we think we are or when we'll arrive there. Because the finish line is so much closer, we'd run full speed from the minute we took off, wouldn't we? The people that win don't necessarily have more vision than you. You think you're further away from the outcome and you jog all the time throughout your life. The people that win may have a bigger vision, but they understand how close their goals are, and they're constantly in a sprint to get there. They get started earlier and they finish later. Throughout the day, they're in a bigger hurry to get to the places they need to be because the finish line in their mind is so much closer. I'm telling you, the average performer can say the same things, read the same books, yet the person who is in a bigger hurry throughout the day ends up winning the day, winning the year, and winning the life. You should be in a so much bigger hurry than everybody around you. The second thing is the way we begin our day. Either you're going to control your time or your time's going to control you. And that means this: when you wake up in the morning, the greatest thing you could do for yourself, you control the beginning of the day. You get clear, you pray, you stretch, you think, you control the first 30 minutes of your day. It sets a tone that I'm in charge of my time, that this day is on your terms. And again, you stack up a day, a year, of a lifetime of you controlling and dictating the terms of your life. It will revolutionize your life. That's a huge separator in how people look at time. The third thing is this: why is a day only 24 hours? I want the average people I compete against to think they have a 24-hour day. So I want to teach you the concept of running mini days. My first day is from 6 a.m. to noon every day. That's a full day for me. It altered the complete direction of my life. It transformed who I am. And what happens in that 6 a.m. to noon, see, there's a mental thing we have. I have a whole day to get all these things done. You can get the same things done in those 6 hours you used to get done in 24. From noon to 6 p.m., I fill that day up. And my third day is 6 p.m. to midnight. My relationships, my phone calls, my emails, the work I do is a third day. And I started to accomplish triple what the average person was accomplishing. You stack up 3 days in 24 hours. In just 1 year, I end up with over 1,000 days, and I'm competing against people who only have 365. The amount of work you can get done, the amount of compounding that'll take place in your life, it's going to blow your mind. Your whole existence is going to change. Think about what would happen in your life if in a month you had 90 days. Imagine that. The rest of the world only had 30. How different would your life be? And I'm telling you, more fun, more memories, more relationships, more experiences, more achievement. And so because I only have a 6-hour day, I'm in a hurry throughout that day. I'm not walking. I'm in a big hurry. I may never give you a bigger gift than the concept of 6-hour days.